This gun, officially known as the M60, has been carried by many, loved by most, and hated by some. No matter which one of these categories a soldier fell into though, they all called it the pig apostrophe. In the late 1950s, the U.S. Army was in the process of converting their arsenal from the tried-and-true .3006 round, that had gotten it through both World Wars and Korea, to the shorter and more controllable 7.62 by 51 NATO cartridge. The first step? Replace its World War II-era small arms with more modern equipment to shoot this new round. The vaunted M1 Garand and M1 carbine were to be replaced by the M14 battle rifle. Then there was the 19-pound Browning M1918 bar, a myriad of submachine guns, and the 31-pound M1919 Browning light machine gun that needed a replacement. The 1950s replacement for all of them was to be the M60. After World War II, the U.S. military took careful stock of captured German and Japanese weapons systems. From the bad ones they learned what not to do. From the good ones they learned what to copy. From the German FG-42 light machine gun, they copied the overall layout, bolt, and gas piston system, which in itself was ironically an improvement of the World War I-era U.S. Lewis gun. From the MG-42, which was known as Hitler's buzzsaw due to the high rate of fire, they borrowed the top cover and belt feed unit. When these features were put together in a full auto-only, gas-operated, air-cooled, belt-fed, automatic machine gun that fired from the open bolt position and chambered in 7.62 by 51 NATO, it was at first called overall length of the unloaded gun with bipod and carrying handle was 43.5 inches and it weighed in at 23.15 pounds, striking a balance larger than the bar yet still smaller than the M1919. Selected by the military in 1957, the M60 was used as the broom to sweep the older M1919 machine guns, M2 and M3 carbines, and even the few remaining Thompson subguns out the door. While some of these guns lived on in secondary roles for a while longer, the M60 was indisputably the new king of the castle. The first units that received the gun were Cold Warriors holding the line against 50,000 Soviet tanks in Europe, but soon enough the weapons were being used in a real live shooting war in a place called Vietnam. For a gun that had such a long development period and was based on such a good design, the M60 had a few, unexpected, even embarrassing problems. The gun had no carry handle on the barrel to remove it with, so gunners were given an asbestos oven mitt to grab the red-hot steel when it needed to be changed out. The thing is, barrel changes were probably only needed in a hot firefight and, in combat, the reality of soldiers getting their mittens on didn't work out real well. Also, the fire control assembly was held to the gun with a single spring. If knocked on brush or gear, it could result in the entire trigger group falling out, which did not make it very popular with troops. Worse, the nut that held the gas system to the weapon would back out and fall off in extended firing, which had to be fixed in the field by the use of a wire hanger. This fix further slowed down barrel changes as each fresh barrel had its own gas system that had to be installed at the same time. The receiver is not one piece, but rather several light metal pieces welded together and attached to a trunnion. After several thousand rounds, these guns were just worn completely out and the receivers would literally stretch to the point of being unserviceable. In 1986, the M60 Iii was born which, using lessons learned from Vietnam, made a more streamlined gun. This lighter package dropped the weight down from 23 to 18.7 pounds and a vertical forward grip allowed the new gun to be fired from a standing position. The bipod was moved from the barrel to the forearm and a carrying handle was added to the barrel to aid in quick changing. This gun was put into service gradually but the writing was already on the wall. Collectability. The M60 was legendary in film and TV over the past half-century. This has made it probably one of the most recognizable belt-fed machine guns in modern history. Heck, the final season of Breaking Bad seems to revolve around an M60 machine gun in Walter White's trunk.